I think by and large, the whole Colorado thing, I didn't go to Colorado, but the whole Colorado thing fascinates me because there's this belief that I think is incorrect, that because you go to a conference with lower ranked recruiting classes and less first round draft picks, it's more prone to be picked off. I think the inverse is true. I think that conference is well aware of what it is and what it isn't. And they don't count on landing 5 stars. They count on a developmental approach to football, which again is beautiful and I love it. Well, what happens is you end up playing a roster full of guys that may have been ranked 3 stars out of high school, but they're not playing as 18-year-olds, Pete. They're playing as a bunch of 20 and 21-year-olds. And culture's rock solid because that's the only way. Togetherness, cohesiveness, synergy, like those programs are all like bowling balls rolling at you every week. And if you're just a bunch of pieces that got put together in the portal, I don't care. Honestly, that's one area where I will agree the star rankings are going to end up being overrated. If you've got teams facing collections of individuals, the star rankings are going to be rendered pretty moot at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's well said. Now, you mentioned culture, you mentioned recruiting, you mentioned coaches. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime in the Big 12. Is this thing going to work? And if so, how do you define work?
I would define work as matching the expectations they have. And they're not talking about bowl eligibility out there. They voluntarily have thrown around playoff aspirations, not behind closed doors, publicly. That their approach is not going to work on that front. I just described to you how I view their potential life in the Big 12. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be a wake up call, honestly, for them, because I think that for better or for worse, they're going to look at a schedule that features a Kansas or a TCU like last year, an Iowa State or whatever, and they're going to think we got guys who are going to play on Sundays. They don't have so many of those. And that is not football. That is not the way college football works. And the other thing is, I will never be a believer until you prove me otherwise that you can build through the portal. I don't ever believe you can do that. I think you supplement through the portal. I think even the big boys, even Ole Miss, which, Pete, I use as an example because they're like the next closest to doing what Colorado's doing. Ole Miss has averaged recruiting classes in like the 20 to 25 range the last 4 years. Colorado just brought in a class ranked in the 1-teens. So even the next closest comparison is apples to oranges. But I don't believe it's not a program. It's an experiment. That's really what it feels like. A program is built through recruiting. This is more an experiment. And you know what? I could be wrong and maybe it'll work, but I'm telling you, if it works, it'll be the first time it's ever been done that way.